Look, guys, look,
Hey.
he can and he can sing, but that's not what he's here for, okay?
Uh-huh.
So let's get that straight.
All
So
right. All
welcome,
right.
I know you might take out his guitar and be like,
Okay. I have my
okay.
guitar right here.
So welcome this
Thank you.
Thursday. I have this wonderful guest, Joshua. He is just absolutely fabulous. Him and his wife are two just wonderful people who I have grown to love, and they have so much to offer. So today we are going to talk about photography, we're going to talk about videography, and of course, the government. We're going to talk about the government. And Joshua has been doing this for a long time. He has actually gotten awards for what he does. So he is fabulous. So Joshua, take it away. Introduce yourself.
So, first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for having me here. I think it's my first interview ever in English because my first language is Spanish. So I used to work in a radio station for 7 years. So I've done this a lot, but in Spanish. So I'm happy that I'm getting out of my comfort zone. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to talk about what we do. My name is Joshua Orozco, or some people say Joshua. I don't know the how to pronounce it exactly, but I say Joshua Orozco from Reno Art. Reno Art is my company. We do I'm a filmmaker, photographer, and project manager. So that's what we do. We work
Cool.
in productions. Yeah.
And if you don't mind, Joshua, okay, y'all notice how I say his name. I'm sure it's just like wrong. But if you don't mind, I would love for you to introduce yourself in Spanish. Like you would do it, you can add whatever you want to add to it. Go for it.
Bueno, ¿cómo estamos todos a las personas que me están viendo? Un saludo, mi nombre es Joshua Orozco de Reino Art, estoy encargado de esta empresa por más de 10 años, yo me encargo de la parte de realización de videos, fotografía y manejar proyectos grandes. Y en eso estamos, manejar proyectos y producción
Yes.
grandes. There you go, okay.
I love it. Look. I'm like, all right, now my kids, they make fun of me. I used to take Spanish classes way many moons ago, but
Many
they
moons ago.
do, yes, they do very, very well. And they were like, Mom, what did I say? I'm just like, okay, I'm like, I'm like, but it's important. It's
Yes,
important
it's very important.
to learn. So when it's time for me to go to a Spanish speaking country, I'm just going to invite Joshua and his wife to tag along with me. Actually, you'd be like, no, Michelle, no, that's not how it works. So we all love photography. Photography is important in life and both in business and videos, especially when we got our phones and stuff. We're always, the selfies and things like that. And like I said, at some point in time, I know that you have won awards for what you have done. So what have you found is really, really important to, why you take for the photos, why you take the videos, and it's like knowing like the end results. What are people really looking for when they hire you?
Yeah, so it started as a hobby many years ago. I am an engineer, a computer engineer. That's not what I started for, but I always had the passion for um, creating. I love creating, and it's incredible how a memory that is created through video photography can endure for hundreds of years. Now we can see pictures back and like 200 years ago, 100 years ago, and we can see history unfolding because it's like photography and video are amazing in um, uh, taking a memory and putting it there forever. So I was always amazed about the creativity that is behind the process of creating a picture or creating a video. And it started as a hobby, and it started unfolding as a full-time job, and then a company, and then uh, growing up. It started growing up, and people when people look for photography, or video, they want that memory to endure, whether it's for a building that they're putting together
Mhm.
or for different projects. I mean, if 100 years from now we take and see that picture, oh, this is a project that we did here in Chicago in 2024, people are going to have an idea on everything, eh, how the world looked back 100 years back. So
Right.
taking the part of history and creating memories that that's forever.
No, I love it because you're talking about the before and after shots. And like you said, capturing the initial state
Yes.
or the state within that time, and then obviously the afterwards. And I remember I worked for this Fortune 500 company. They were located up in New York. And so they decided to build a campus when I was living in North Carolina. And it was like, oh, that's right, they couldn't use drones because it was too close to the airport. So I know there's, and we'll talk about that too, they were too close to the airport, but they utilized the cameras. So they had somebody, who was actually on ground, but they utilized the cameras that were within the other buildings that was already established. And again, they wanted to see the beginning. They were they were doing the dynamite, and all of it. So okay, so I'm gonna deviate a little bit. So have you ever, and I don't know if this is dangerous or not, but have you ever taken pictures of them actually igniting the dynamite? Have that ever been a request on these business?
Well, before and after, yes, I've done a lot of before and after, and the process of building, the process of creating. But Dynamax, I would love to. I love new experience. So that would be super cool. That would be super cool to do. Dynamites. Yeah, I mean, an explosion or a building when they're taking down a building that they have
Uh-huh.
to record. I would love to. I haven't done that yet, but I would love to. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, did y'all hear that? Either the dynamite or they call it the implosion is like when they, like you said, or the demolition,
Demolition.
like,
Yes.
yeah,
Demolition
like
process.
it'll all come. Oh yeah, no, that would be really, really cool. Say really, really cool.
Yes.
So for the business, and you probably have done this because I've seen it where I thought it was like, man, it took patience. Like I've
Yes.
seen where parents have had their child sit every day and take a picture or take a quick video, and it just like that time lapse. How important is that within business? When you're capturing those time lapses for a corporation or for a business.
Yes. The world started changing in 2020
Okay.
in a drastic way. Specifically, when we're talking about web page or social media, is nowadays is way more important to have content, because when you have when you have a company and you're doing things, you need to showcase and put out there what you're doing, and the best way to do it is through video and photography. So it's very important for a company uh, to acknowledge and to understand the process of evolution of technology. 10 years ago, it was important, but not as important as nowadays.
Mhm.
Nowadays, if you have a web page and you don't have a video or a photography of what do you do, you're off. You need to update. You need to keep on the growing of the technology. So it's extremely important now these days. The pictures and the videos that you do for any project. If you're working on the electrical area, if you're working on the constructions, if you're working on like anything that you want the clients to see what you're doing, you need to do
Mhm.
it through video and through photography. and
I
and
absolutely
and
love that.
and every day uh, we're more dependent on that.
Hmm.
The society is more dependent on that. If I want to do a business with somebody and that person has a terrible web page, that's not gonna. It's not gonna give you a good impression.
Right.
Like 10 years ago, it was not as important, but these days, if you go and look and you see what is this, you don't feel the confidence, you know, maybe if you talk with a person, that confidence is going to build up, but the first impression is very important, you know. So
You
this is
are,
what photography and video does.
no, you're touching, and that's bigger,
Yeah,
what you're talking about is huge as a person's brand. It's where they've taken time out to say, okay, I really want to make sure that my branding is clear, that my message is clear. And even, because you and I, we talk LinkedIn, right? And sometimes, believe it or not, some people don't even go to folks, well, and they still do. But when I say, like, when they want to really look at their information, their professional information, they go to a LinkedIn. And that falls for LinkedIn also, that if you don't have that information updated, if you don't have the videos, like with you being a videographer, photographer, filmmaker, you're all of these things. And if I ever went to your site and I didn't see any movement, you could have the most fabulous pictures, but if you got filmmaker
there you go.
and
Yes,
if you got videographer, I want to see stuff dance and sing,
yes.
right? And then that's the same with LinkedIn. When you're saying something, if you're a beautician, if you're this, if you're that, then you want to show the professional side of things. If you're a caterer, I know in your case, like you taking pictures, like going in, taking pictures of a caterer. If they don't have those vibrant colors, if everything is looking dull, the first thing I'm gonna think, like, was this bad food? Was the food old? Was it like, I'm serious? Like, is this a good match
Yeah.
for my next event? So all of that detail is just really important. So when we talk about, detail, how important truly is detail when you're taking a picture or a video?
So yeah, I mean the detail, it's something very important because you could have a wonderful, delicious plate that if you close your eyes and you taste it, you're gonna see, wow, this tastes so good. But if you see it, you're like, this looks awful. Because we're very visual,
Yes, we are.
we're very visual. So it's important not only how it tastes, or how the how it's done. It's also important how it looks. It's
Hmm.
extremely important how it looks because I've seen both things. I've seen good plates that look beautiful on the menu, and then in the reality doesn't. It's not like that, And I've seen plates that look terrible on the menu, and then when I see it, it's another thing. So it's important to have a consistency in the details. If you have a beautiful web page, if you have a beautiful text, you need to have beautiful pictures. You need to have beautiful videos. You need. I mean, details are very important uh, to deliver the message of excellency. Um,
Love it.
so it's very important to do your work with a very high standard,
Hmm.
you know but it's also important to show that standard through the pictures or through your website or through your LinkedIn, um because that way you're selling what you're worth. I mean, if you know that you do an excellent job, you need to have a high standard video, photography, web page, LinkedIn, so it can sell exactly what you do. So it's important to have this level of details that we can know that when I take a photography or a picture, there's a lot of things happening around. There's a lot of elements that
I love it.
together they do a good composition. I have to take care of the light. I have to take care of the sound. I have to take care of the of the content. There's a lot of details that sometimes people don't think about. Oh, really? Oh, this is a 10 seconds video, and yeah, it's going to take me 4 hours to do it,
Yes.
because there's a lot of details on what I'm doing.
Oh, look, I'm gonna have to. Okay, so I'm gonna have to say this. Now, you heard everything that Joshua was like. Okay, you need this, you need that, And I've seen him in action, guys. And so I have seen him at really large events, and I've seen him at small events, right? And one of the things I have to say about Joshua, it's hilarious how he's like behind the camera or the video camera all the time, but he's always smiling. He's always
Really? I haven't noticed
smiling.
that.
I'm like, so he's the cameraman.
Really?
And yes, you are very
Wow, that's good
mannerable
to
and you're
know.
always smiling. And it's just like great. And you really have great energy. So and I think that also to me it comes across with the work that you do, and even, when you have to interview people, right? When you have to interview people for testimonials and things like that to get them comfortable. Because sometimes, we get tight. Because I know I have. I'm like, come on, shoulders, come down. Sometimes I'm like, okay, when I have to take a picture or when I have to do just something really short for a video, I can cram up. But for you now, have you gotten from any of your clients that once you've done an interview or once you've done a testimonial, have that like increased business for them, or that really brought like more traffic to their website?
Of course. I mean, uh, it's not just one element. There's a lot of elements. Okay,
Mhm.
so one element is, of course, you being excellent in what you do. A second element is what you're showing to the world. You know, and a web page, it's very important these days, and it's also important uh, to build a web page with a professional person, because you could have beautiful pictures, but if you don't have the SEO correctly done, you're not gonna find it through Google. So it's a lot of layers of things that you have, but definitely, yes. Uh, Specifically, I can remember a lawyer that he was very good. He was very talented. He had many years working in the industry, but he had a terrible website, and he decided to improve it. He
Yeah,
decided
yeah.
to improve it, and then after when we finished the process of web page, the pictures and everything, he started putting like $10 a week through Google Ads,
Okay.
and then he increased it to 50, and then increased to 100. And it's unbelievable the amount he like tripled his work. He's tripled his
Wow.
work because when you're paid to Google, you know Google Ads, and people click and they see something bad, they're not going to engage. But if they click and they see a really good web page photography, of course they're going to engage. So they're going to text, they're going to send an email, they're going to call. And yes, I've seen that many times. uh, how you could grow your potential just
Mhm.
by doing these steps, you know having a beautiful photography and video, have a beautiful web page, and then paying through Google Ads your service. And then there's another problem that I've seen. Then they're having a lot of calls, like more than they can manage. So
Uh-huh,
you
uh-huh.
need to know that if you're going to do that, you need to have a structure. How are you going to do to grow? Like, okay, if I start receiving 100 emails a day, what am I going to do? Do I have
Right,
the capability to answer all the emails? Do I need it? So you need to have a plan on, okay, if I start receiving more calls or more emails, I need a team. So that's something to envision, because I've seen people that they didn't plan that, and now they are in the position where they are receiving too much leads, and they cannot handle
right.
that amount of leads. um yeah, and there's another story. There's a guy that he started a business of trucks. He just started like last year, and he was like, okay, I want to do a promotional video for my trucking because I need to recruit more people. Okay,
Oh, that's cool.
so then he put like $50 a week, and then he received like 100 leads. And so the way he do it, because he doesn't have employees or anything. He stopped the promotion. He stopped promoting the video, and he take care of the lead. And after he finished taking care of all those leads, in 1 2 weeks he started again the promotion.
Oh, I
And that
love it.
and that's
No.
the way. Yeah, because if he keep on doing it, he's gonna be overwhelmed with emails.
No, I love
Yes.
that. You see,
Yes.
he dropping nuggets, y'all. Look, have a system in
Uh-huh.
place. Just letting you know, like afterwards, he's like, this is what's gonna happen. All
It's not
right.
rocket science. Listen to me. It is not rocket science. It is not rocket science. I mean, if you want to grow your business, it's easily the way but you need to have a plan to
Right,
sustain.
right.
Because I've seen people that they start growing up and they don't have a plan and it crash. It crashed.
Hmm.
The quality of their work started going down because they were not expecting this amount of work.
Right.
So I've seen companies that the quality of work start going down because they don't have a plan to grow. you
Yeah.
know so as important as setting a plan is growing. I mean, if you're planning to grow, you need to have a plan.
Yeah. It's a scale. You need to have
Yes.
a set scaling some type of model or something that because most of us we plan to grow. And like in your case, I know at first in the beginning, it was like only a few people had drones here or there, but you had a plan to grow. So, going into the drone and the aerial type, like when you got, because first of all, if I'm correct, I believe that you have to be licensed for certain ones or for certain
Yes.
areas, especially if you're working for the city or the state.
Yes.
When did you realize, like, wait a minute, I want to continue on. I want to get different type of clients, but I know that I need to get this drone. When did that happen?
So, well, it was back in 2018. I didn't have a drone, and drones were becoming a thing, at that time. And there was a specific project where they say you have a drone. I didn't have it,
Hmm.
but I was like, yeah, I have a drone. I mean, it's in the store, I have to pick it up.
I'm about to go get
It's mine. So I remember that was like 2 weeks prior to the event.
it. Hmm.
So I went, bought the drone, learned. I spent hours and hours learning, and then the results. The client was very happy, and then it was like essential part of my work. Essential,
Yeah,
like I cannot do a project if I don't have a drone shot. Because and then of course there's a limitation. For example, I've Edgar Village, it's a suburb that is right there nearby the airport. So there are
okay,
parts where you cannot fly if you don't have authorization from the tower control. So in order to have all of that, you need to be certified as a FAA pilot, like a drone pilot from the Federation of Aviation. So you have to go through a process, and it's not easy. I thought it was easy, but I thought, oh, it's a 2 hours course, 3 hours, it's going to be really quick or whatever. No, it takes weeks to study all the materials. It's thousands and thousands of
wow,
pages of regulations. Of course, you can fly a drone in a if you want to do it for yourself, you don't
right,
need. But if you want to scale up, if you want to do it in a better way, you need to be certified with the Federal Aviation FAA. And that process, i- it's not easy. It's not easy in terms of it's not a 2 hours course and then you're ready.
right,
It's thousands of I'm gonna put it this way: you need to have the same knowledge that a pilot has, not to fly it
wow,
in terms of the wind, in terms of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because it's a mini airplane. So
Right.
you need to be conscious of what is happening in the air. What is the lane of approach? What is the aerodynamics of the airplane? How does it work? Like, because if I'm for I want to I want to start working in the O'Hare project, of building
Right.
construction. So in order to do that, I need to understand what is happening in the air.
You
Where
do.
can I be? Where can I not be? And have all these different things that a pilot has to know in order to fly uh, uh, an airplane.
I
So
didn't even think about that
it's crazy. Look, I'm gonna
because
show it to you. I'm gonna show. I have. It's like 10 different books. I'm gonna show you one book.
yeah, I want to see the books. And while you pulling that, it's like you don't think about that, but like Joshua, he's going to tell us about one of his projects that he had with the city of Chicago, and they have very tall buildings, so that's important to know. Like, how high can you go? Because I know when I lived in Detroit and when I lived in North Carolina, that there were, especially if you're near a hospital, that they had helicopters and stuff flying around there. You know, if you have the CEOs, I was about to say SEOs. When
Yeah.
you have the CEOs and stuff, they're flying in on the helicopters, landing on top of the buildings and things like that. Then you have to be aware of that. But all right, show us the book. What you got?
This is one. I have to read like 10 different books. This is one.
You say 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. And this is for real. So this is for pilots. I mean, this is not for drone.
Oh.
This is for pilots. You need to know the aerodynamics of the airplanes. You need to be aware. So it show you, the different, things that you have in an airplane. You know, I mean, it's again, it's not easy peasy when you're being certified. Because you need
All
to
right,
have
so
you need to
so
be
if
aware of a lot of details that I thought it was easy because
uh
I had no clue. Like, what am I gonna? I don't know. I don't need to know the aerodynamics of an airplane too. But then the FAA is telling like, hey, you need to know because if you're gonna operate in these areas where are helicopters and different things flying around, you need to know. You need to know. So yeah, it's
so if I was interested in learning, which I'm not, but would you be able to not on this because then they have to reach out to you for a consultation. But if
yeah,
someone was interested, you would be able to help them through
yes,
that. Perfect.
yes.
Because y'all see his information is right here because there are some people who want to expand. They need to know this because again, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And then moving into, being certified within the FAA, that this is again knowing what the rules are. And it's like when Joshua, before him and I we had got on, we were talking about, I just got off a call and I was listening to the qualifications to work for NASA, or as a subcontractor. And I work for NASA as a subcontractor. So we're going to the government part of things. And one of the things that they said they absolutely want and need, they were like, and it was at the top of their list. They were like, it was a photographer and it was a videographer. And so that way they can see what's happening at this time. They're watching as different projects are being built, whatever they got going on. No, it's a little secret. They were just telling us about different projects that they have within the different departments. And one of them, again, was really at the top was the photography and the videography. And with my other guest, Amy, when she was on, it was cybersecurity. So these things, sometimes we don't think about it. We just assume that we're going to see a picture. We're going to assume that we're ready to work with the government. We may not be ready. Like, again, when you were like, okay, when somebody was like, do you have a drone? You'd be like, yes, I have a drone. And you went and you got it. And, in my head, it was like, oh, yeah, it's like one of the kitty drones that I bought for my kids. You're like, no, Michelle, this thing is, you got to know how to navigate this.
Yeah.
You have to know how to navigate that. And with you having that, as a photographer, videographer, filmmaker, how important right now is it to have this drone as part of your arsenal when you are filming and when you're taking pictures and when you're at different events?
It's extremely important. Uh, it's extremely important. Extremely important. Uh, Again, like 10 years, like back in 2010, maybe it didn't exist a demand like this big of demand on drones
Yeah.
or filmmakers. But after 2020, what happened is that everything started going more online. The restaurants started selling more online. So everybody, like everything starts switching more online and digital. And these days, especially in construction is vital to have drone footage. It's vital to
Hmm.
have drone footage because there are certain angles and things that you cannot see if you are, in ground level. And it's very extremely important to have to incorporate a drone in the process of storytelling. If you're showing cases something, you need to have it.
That's good. That's good. So, what do you have set? What big project are you working on right now? That that you can just give us a little peek of what you got happening.
Well, it depends on the client. There are things that I can talk. There are things that I cannot talk.
Right, right, right.
But let's talk about what I can talk about. Yeah, because there's sometimes there is a agreement,
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the
So,
NDAs, right? No, no, we don't want you to
uh-huh.
get in trouble. Talk about the
No.
ones you can talk about.
um, I'm working with a UFO. No, sorry.
What?
No, listen. This weekend we have a big project with the city of Chicago. We are going to work in the auto show. It's a big thing, for Chicago. The auto show. If I am not wrong, it's the biggest auto show in the United States. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we're gonna
Yeah,
be there. We're gonna be, interviewing the different personalities of the city. We're gonna be there doing time lapse and doing everything that is happening there because it's like a week. I started this Thursday, and then on Friday we have the gala, and then Saturday they open up the doors for everybody. So this is something really big that we're doing right now with the city. It's the third year in a row that we work for the auto show here in Chicago,
I
and
love it.
it's fun. I love it. It's a beautiful energy. In the place, and it's very interesting to see all the cars that are going to come, and yeah. So if you go to the auto show, you may see me there. Working
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. I love it. So if you can close us out, however you want to close us out in
en
Spanish,
español,
in English, we would love
en
it. I'm
inglés.
all you like you like in English, Michelle. Look, I got
So,
him. I got him in front of the camera, so I'm getting him.
well, first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and talk to your audience. You are an amazing people. We love you. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're great in what you do. You're excellent in what you do, and we admire you. And we're thankful for for to have you in my path. That.
Oh,
Yeah, because God uses people to help, to improve, to guide. So you are one of those people. And thank you, everybody that has been watching this live. I know that's a lot of information, but if you have any question, you have any project that is going on, you have any concern, uh, our webpage is www.reinoa, right there, reinoa.com. You can go there and go down to the section where say there's a part that says contact. So you can click there and hit us an email and direct email. I will be more than happy to answer all your questions. And if you need anything in filmmaking, in photography, if you have a big project, hey, please reach out and we're going to do it as the best of our abilities.
absolutely, guys. So you look, he got his information down there, and make sure you reach out to him. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, He is already tagged, so reach out to him if you have questions about government certifications and contracts. Then let's absolutely talk about it. As always, Joshua, it has been a pleasure.